All right, everybody, welcome to the HESN Hockey Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler McLaren, here with Jesse Card. How you doing, brah?
All good, bro. Let's get this going.
Yeah, it's exciting. We're back, episode 2 of the HESN Hockey Podcast. We're very excited to be talking some CCHL action with you guys. We're very happy to have Carlos Verde coming on the show today, so make sure you guys stay tuned and listen to the expert Carlos Verde break down a little bit of CCHL stuff, talk a little bit about some great memories he had last year, and talk a little bit about the Nepean Raiders, the team that he's going to be following a little bit this year as one of the pro sort of scouts and I guess not scouts, but media members of the CCHL, and he's really good, and HESN as well. So Carlos Verde will be on later to talk a little bit about hockey, but we're right in the swing of things now. So, we're 6 games into the season for some of these teams, and this time of year, it's great. The weather's good, but you still get hockey and football. And the only thing we don't have is basketball, which I do like. But, so far this year it's been pretty interesting to look at the standings. Obviously, Carleton Place is 4 wins, 2 losses. Sort of surprising there that they've already lost twice. They've lost to the only undefeated team in the league, which is the Ottawa Junior HESN. So good on them so far.
Just happened, yeah.
Just happened last night. They that the second time they've lost to them. So they've lost 5-4 and 5-3 respectively. Very strange. Carleton plays very tight defensively usually. They're second in the league giving up goals so far this year. So obviously some work to be done on the defensive end and the goaltenders there in Carleton Place. Hawkesbury and Ottawa Junior HESN are the 2 top teams in the league. Hawkesbury at 6-1, Junior HESN at 6-0. Both of them are playing exceptional hockey right now. A little bit of surprise, I think, for both of those teams, but definitely nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. I like it. I mean, I want to say changing the guards. Yeah. It's pretty early to be saying that. But and knowing from last week, our predictions were that CP will still be a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, yeah.
But it's nice to see some other teams like Cumberland really holding their own at this point in the early part of the season.
Like obviously in the I think in the Robinson division where Carleton Place plays in, it's sort of it's a very strong division. Everyone's doing well except for Cornwall there. And in the Ottawa Junior HESN's division, they're 6-0, but you look at the rest of the teams in there, Cumberland's second place right now, and which is great to see. Good new coaches in there. They got a lot of young talent. They're playing hard. They're playing with their system. So it's really great to see all these teams playing well. It's early in the year, so make sure you guys keep up the motivation, keep plugging away hard, and keep making sure you guys pot some goals and play the right way because HESN's watching.
Yeah, the other thing that I really like this year that I've noticed a change is the bringing in of full HD in the video.
Yeah.
We're watching the goals and what a difference it makes. And eventually I'm sure that it'll get to that point as well with the midget AAA because I've been watching some of those goals and that's the quality that the CCHL had last year and what a difference it makes looking at HD.
It really does. And not to make everyone believe it's not going to be as good as the HD you see on your beautiful television, but when you look at the games, it's just that much more clear. And if you zoom in a bit, you'll notice the pixelation is going to be much more voluminous. So you want to make sure that you guys take advantage of that. Go to the website, make sure you guys check out all the goals, and support your teams and your friends and your family members because they work hard and there's some great goals. So make sure you guys go there and check them all out.
Absolutely.
The next thing we're going to be talking about next week on the podcast, we're going to start looking next week at the commit tracker.
Yeah.
So I'll let Jesse break down a couple guys.
I think we've had a couple this year already.
We have had a couple guys so far.
I believe if I just bring this up, in August, Marcus Joseph, left defenseman from Carleton Place, signed with Sacred Heart University. And then a month before that, in July, it was Brett Murray, left wing. He's going to Penn State, both Carleton Place Canadian guys, and we know that the Carleton Place and Jason Clarkey puts a ton of players into the NCAA.
Oh yeah, and I don't think he really wants to waste time with these guys. Like as we all know, Carleton Place Canadians, they don't have the youngest roster, so the guys on their team are they're there for a purpose. And the purpose that the Carleton Place Canadians are, they're looking to get moved right away. They're there to get noticed and move on to the next level. So obviously,
well, and I'm sure if you look at that roster too, we had the privilege of interviewing a bunch of Carleton Place guys for their marketing for the year and the inserts that they're going to be playing at the games. You did a great video, kind of recapping where they came over the last couple of years.
Yeah,
and that went over really well. I heard at the home home opener last Sunday in Carleton Place.
Great to hear.
But I'm sure we're not. These two aren't going to be the only commits from that club.
No.
Right?
Not this year. I don't think so. I think there's going to be lots of other guys, as there always is. And, Coach Clark does a great job. He runs a college hockey combine, so he does a great job of making sure those scouts get in to see the kids and puts a good team on the ice so that they get the most amount of games because they're playing deep in the playoffs and they're playing nationally and provincially. So good job by Carleton Place.
Well, what I will say, I will jump in there, Tyler, is that with that HD footage too, it makes it a lot easier to create some pretty stunning products to showcase the skills that you do have as a player. So I do want to put a shout out to once again illustrate what HESN is all about. We're dedicated to building the most professional marketing and recruitment tools for the athletes. So it's simply if you're looking to get that recruitment video and NCAA/CIS interview session where coaches can hear how you talk and about what your motivations are, we want to get that directly on your Point Street Performance account and also on your HESN profile. So if you're curious about having us work with you this season and maximizing your season, simply register as a hockey player on hesn.co and pick a package that suits you, and we're good to go.
And you can actually go right to the Central Junior Hockey League main page, and there are a couple links for HESN on there. Click on those links, bring you right to the website as well, because you guys are there every day checking the stats and checking the stories. So make sure you guys have an opportunity. Go there and check out what we're doing. We're doing some pretty special things, and what we're doing is tools to help you get noticed and things that will make you get noticed the right way. So make sure you guys go check out hesn.co, take a look at what we're doing. Now we're going to talk about, give a little shout out to the Players of the Week, the Next Recruit/CCM Players of the Week, brought to you by the Central Junior Hockey League. So we're going to talk, we're going to start with the honorable mentions. We'll go through those first. And for the Hawkesbury Hawks, we have Jonathan Teese. He had 9 points over the last week, 2 goals and 7 assists. Obviously 6-1, leading the league in first place with the amount of points that they have. So good job by Jonathan Teese doing that. Jordan Larson from the Carleton Place Canadians, absolutely tearing it up right now. He's played. They've played 7 games. He has 13 points, 5 goals, 8 assists. I think he's had a couple game winners. He's been in there when it matters. Obviously, the guy's clutch. We watched him all in the.
He's gonna have a big year if he keeps up what he's been doing so far. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a hell of a season for this guy.
Just talking about Jordan Larson, I remember when I was working for these videos for Jason Clark over the last sort of couple weeks, I had a lot of watching their games and everything. I notice that guy every time. Every single time he goes on the ice, he's just one of those guys that makes things happen. And I always find it interesting in hockey because you don't control the ball or the puck. The puck is the puck. You get on there, you try to make things happen. And if you're a guy that's always around the puck and always making things happen.
Good things happen.
That's what he does. So good on Jordan Larson. Honorable mention there. Third honorable mention, Matt Tugnut. Obviously, he is a great player, super feisty, excellent explosiveness. He had 10 points over this week, 7 goals, 3 assists. I had the privilege of watching him on Thursday night. I took my cousin from Japan, who never been to a hockey game before.
Not even a hockey game.
Never, ever seen a human being skate in an arena with hockey equipment on in his life.
And what do you think?
He said it was the most enjoyable sporting event he's ever been at. He was blown away. He thought it was so fast. He thought there was huge hits. If you want to, getting off track a bit, that game between the Pembroke Lumber Kings and the Kempville 73s was feisty. There was 4 or 5 open ice hits that were like, ooh.
Bone rattlers.
Bone rattlers. No one got injured because they were clean, no head contact, which I've noticed is really, really I've never seen a dirty hit in the CCHL in the last couple of years. But it's been great. It was a great game. Unfortunately, the 73s ended up losing. I live near Kempville, so I went there to the home arena. So the home fans were a little disappointed. Pembroke scored with 20 seconds to go. But it was a great hockey game. Yep. And I will say that I'm really impressed with the guys that I mentioned this when we were talking to some of the guys the other day on the arena. 73s has some great talent.
Oh yeah.
Owen Guy, Matt Tugnut, they got some great guys, and I'm really excited to see what Carlos Verde has to say about the 73s.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, with all that being said, let's get to the Player of the Week. Drum roll, please, and that's Sam Meisenheimer from the Ottawa Junior Sens. I'm interested to know a little bit more about this guy. Don't know who he is. I don't know if he was on the team last year, but I do know he was player of the week. 5 goals, 2 assists.
Well, if you guys know, we're going to be posting this. Obviously, this is available on iTunes, so simply go to the iTunes store, search HESN Athletics, and you'll get all of our HESN Hockey podcasts, along with some other ones, football podcasts, downloaded automatically into your iPhone.
That's right.
So, but what I will say is, if you know some more background information on any of the players that we're mentioning or players that we're not mentioning, I encourage you to comment on the YouTube or on the blog comments, and just let us know. We'll see that, and we'll be able to create some discussion about this great league.
And that is the player of the week. So I want to say congratulations to Sam Meisenheimer, Jonathan Teese, Jordan Larson, and Matt Tugnut for their recognition to start off the season as I think it's the first one of the years to do that. So good on them for there. The last thing that we wanted to talk about today, actually I'm just going to stop that. I thought about, we're going to cut this. What was the thing? I just thought of something that we want to talk about. Oh, the goals.
Yep.
The goals.
I was going to hit it.
Cool. That's what I just mentioned. So I want to give a shout out to Sam Meisenheimer, Jonathan Teese, Jordan Larson, and Matt Tugnut for their honorable mention and the Player of the Week awards for them. So good on them. The last thing we wanted to mention is a little thing that we're going to be starting next week. We're really excited to be doing this again. At the end of last season, for all you CCHL junkies out there, the CCHL Network was producing some top 10 goals. Now we've been able to step up the production quality with the HESN, the forming of the House Edge Sports Network. We have some great tools, some great employees that are able to create some great graphics, and obviously with the HD footage that the CCHL and Point Streak have got set up, it's going to make a far superior product. So starting next week, we're going to have the HESN top 10 goals of the week every single week for the duration of the season, and we are really excited to be introducing that to you guys starting next week.
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you think? Are we going to double up on the goals here, the top 10? It just means that we got 2 weeks to choose from.
Yeah, I guess what we might do is we'll probably do 2 sets of goals. We'll do one from the showcase till today, till like the game last night between Ottawa Junior Sens and Carleton Place. That'll be one top 10. And then starting today, there's 2 games tonight. And starting today to the end of next week, we'll do the end of Sunday.
Beautiful.
We'll do that. So we'll have 2 top 10s coming out next week. So you guys get excited for that when it comes out, and your goals on there. Make sure you guys love it, share it, and check it all out. We are going to take a short break right now, but when we come back, we are going to be joined by the one and the only Carlos Verde from the HESN and formerly the CCHL Network, and we'll be right back after this break. All right, guys, back HESN Hockey Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler McLaren. I am glad to be joined with one of my favorite hockey guys in the CCHL. We've known this guy for a couple years. He's always doing great work in the CCHL and now at Carleton University. He was also with the Ottawa Champions baseball team this year. So this guy knows every sport. He's also with the Ottawa Fury. So this guy covers it all. But this is the one and only Carlos Verde. How you doing, brother?
Good, Ty. Good to be on with you guys. Always exciting to talk CCHL. Always exciting to be at the start of another season. And I think there's been some surprises already this early on. So I'm really excited to get into it and analyze it with you guys.
Definitely. You know, we're excited for another CCHL season. And the last time that we were working together on hockey, we were doing the playoff run between the Ottawa Junior Sens and the Pembroke Lumber Kings. And going ready for the Bogart Cup final, and now here we are again, new year. So you're talking a little bit about some of the surprises that have happened so far in the CCHL. Why don't we start with a few surprises that have happened so far this year?
Yeah, well, I think the biggest surprise, maybe not to anyone within the organization, but I think to a lot of outside viewers, is going to be the Hawkesbury Hawks. There's no doubt. I mean, you look at the team put together by GMA and Henderson, it's been really impressive what they've accomplished out there. I think Rick Dorval's out there still, if not mistaken. They've done it with a really balanced attack. I mean, 6 games in, they've got 4 players that are better than a point a game, including defenseman Jonathan Tessie and Ryan Bunka. 2 solid goaltenders as well in James Hack and Jesse Michael. For me, Jesse Michael is probably one of the best goaltenders in the CCHL, bar none. Hawkesbury, for me, has to be the biggest surprise, off to a 5-1 start. They were excellent at the showcase. They were undefeated through their first 5 games as well, I believe. big ups to that organization. They've turned things around. They've got a new sort of branding, new jerseys, and a new vibe out there in Hawkesbury. So really bright times out east there for the Hawks.
So Hawkesbury Hawks, so far so good this year. Now, to get a little more in-depth with the CCHL sort of outlook for the season, why don't you give us your, we all know your expert opinion since you've been around the league for so long. Who do you think the favorites are? Who do you think some of the teams that we should look out for are? And how do you think the playoff situation might unfold this year?
Well, obviously it's tough to say, guys, just being 5-6 games into the season here in the first month and a half. But I think I can definitely, confidently say that there's been some movers and shakers. Some teams are trending upwards and some are trending downwards. Hawkesbury obviously trending upwards. OJS at 5-0 under Martin Dagenet and his staff. Another fantastic recruiting job this year from the junior Sens. They're 5-0. They're going to be right up there again in terms of Bogart Cup challengers. The question is, can they get over the hump in the playoffs when they're playing in Carleton Place or Pembroke and in a hostile environment, and in CP's case, a smaller barn. They weren't able to do it last year against Pembroke, and we'll see what happens this year. But Ottawa's still amongst the elite in the CCHL. Hawkesbury's trending up. Brockville, there's definitely some question marks there with Matt Ward gone. I think Smiths Falls is trending up as well. They're a little bit better than last year. In Cornwall, I love Ian McInnes. I think he's a great owner, great manager, and a great head coach, but I just don't think there's enough talent on that Colts team for them to mount a serious challenge. Right now they're sitting at the bottom of the Robinson division, and I think that's pretty much where they're going to stay. They're a hard-working group, but I just don't think they have enough offense going forward, and there are some questions on the back end. Not sold on James Edwards either. As a starting goaltender, and that looks like who they're going to be running with. In terms of teams that are trending downwards, I've been really disappointed by Dale McTavish's Pembroke Lumber Kings. I know they lost a lot, Felix Chamberlain and company, after last year's Bogart Cup finalist run. The fact is they don't have enough scoring right now. Sean Green, for my money, is one of the best goaltenders in the CCHL, if not the best. I put him right up there with the Peens. Frank Marat, 1-2 in the league. 967 save percentage and a 1-2 record. Pretty rare you see that. They've had trouble scoring, and really their roster just isn't that good right now. Pembroke, I think we're going to see slide from the 1, 2, 3 spots that they've kind of occupied for the last 7-8 years in the league, and I think we're going to start to see them slide more into the 6, 7, 8, 9 discussion in the league, which I don't think their fan base is going to be too happy with.
So we're talking about, that's great insight, great stuff there. Now, I'm going to ask you a specific question about the Carleton Place Canadians. And the reason I wanted to ask is they're 2-time defending Bogart Cup champions, 2-time Fred Page Cup defending champions, 2-time national final finalist. Talk to us about what you think this team is going to bring this year.
Well, I think it's going to be the same CP team that everyone's used to seeing. A lot of the familiar faces from last year are back. Role players that have stepped into bigger minute roles. Jordan Larson's wearing the C for them. Obviously, he's a returning guy, the Fort Francis native, puts up big points. He's going to give you a point a game at least. This year, he's averaging 2 per game to start the season. He's almost got a goal per game, 5 goals, 7 assists in 6 games played. Good recruiting, though, as well. You look at Lucas Batt, the Newfoundland native. He's come in from Lewisport and just lit it up to start the season in CP. They're a big team. They're a physical team. They're going to hit you. They're going to hurt you. They're not going to give up a ton of goals. And on paper, I think, especially at home, CP probably still is the odds-on favorite to win the league this year. But I do think that Hawkesbury, OJS, and I'd say Hawkesbury and OJS are probably the 2 teams, as of right now, I think, that have the best chance of catching them.
The 2 teams that I've been really excited to watch are Cumberland and Kemptville. Those are the 2 teams that I feel that they are trending upwards. Now, not in the sense of competing for a Bogart Cup right now, but I do believe that the Kemptville 73s and the Cumberland grads have had... I've been watching a couple of Kemptville games, and they play hard. They played Pembroke the other night on Thursday, and it was a great hockey game. They ended up losing 2-1 on a late goal by Pembroke, but I really like what Kemptville brings to the table. They're a really fast team, and they got a lot of skill.
Yeah, I think Kemptville's a team to watch. Not sold on their goaltending. I still don't think Nick Hodgins is a premier goaltender in this league right now. That's just reality. They do have some good scorers, though. Jason Tackett up front is a very solid player. Owen Gee is another guy I like. Owen Guy, I guess it would be. Brandon Cole, for me, their assistant captain on the back end. He's a puck mover, really solid two-way guy. I know he's getting some looks from schools. He's 95. He's an overager. I think this is his 5th year in the league, if I'm not mistaken. He started with Brockville. He's a guy that I think is going to be key if this team is going to have success. And the fact is, they're going to need scoring. And right now, they're top 6. You know, you look at the likes of Matt Tugnut, Jason Tackett, Dean Kiriakou, Adam Alavi, Alex Rowe and company. If they can keep averaging a point a game, I think that Kemptville's going to be not only a playoff team, but they might even be looking at home ice like a 4 versus 5 matchup down the road. They definitely have the ability to surprise some, and I think at home especially, they're a really solid team.
They really are.
I'm really excited to see what they do.
Yeah, I agree, and I really believe that we will see Kemptville moving up, and sort of as Pembroke and Cornwall look to be falling. I think Kemptville is going to be the team to take advantage of that and maybe get like you said, get a home ice playoff game. The last thing I wanted to talk to you about, Carlos, is I want to get your insight a little bit on the Nepean Raiders. They've had some big changes this offseason, and I want you to sort of break down for everyone what you expect there, what we can expect from the new guys, and give us your take on what's going to be going on at Nepean Raider country.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Raiders, the first thing you got to know is they weren't a good team last year. And they lost pieces from last year's team, big pieces. They've got Derek Switzer, first-time head coach. He was an assistant last year. He played in Germany, I believe. Darcy Finley, former Canada Lasers head coach, on the bench as well. For me, they have one of the better coaching staffs in the CCHL right now. But the fact is, this just isn't a very good team, guys. You know, Josh Isaac wearing the C. Love him as a player. Is he an elite player in the CCHL? I would say no. Derek Varon, Jody Sullivan, Luke McCaw. You look at these guys that are, you know, top 5 on the team in scoring on other teams in the league. Like, those guys would be hard pressed, I think, to make anything more than CP's 4th line. The defense is very young. They're starting 98s and 99s in the top 6. And I think the biggest thing is Corey Tam is the only returning defenseman on this team, and that's scary to me. That you have one guy back on the blue line from last season. That is huge turnover, and they've struggled in their first couple of games. I got the chance to watch them play Pembroke. The offense was actually all right, but just some brutal defensive breakdowns, bad changes. They ended up losing 6-4 to Pembroke, and right now Nepean anchored to the bottom of the league. No wins, the only winless team through the first 5 games, and I think that's pretty telling. 5 games, they're -9. Not getting blown out, but they just don't have the horses. And I think as the year progresses, I think we're going to see them, Gloucester, and Canada firmly in that bottom 3 in the CCHL. One bright spot, though, Frankie Murat, the goaltender. He's come into camp this year. He looks a little bit bigger in the net. Always been positionally sound, sucks up a lot of rebounds. And his stats are going to hurt because of that young, inexperienced D-core. But I think for me, he's one of the premier goalies in the CCHL.
Well, that's great stuff right there, Carlos. I want to just ask a couple more questions because you've been on a roll so good. Who are some players that we should be looking out for this year that you think are sort of going to be the next young guns in the CCHL?
Well, it's tough to say offhand, but I think Michael LaRose in Cumberland is a player you really got to watch out for. He's a late 97, so this is a kid that right now he's 17 years old, and he is leading the Cumberland grads in scoring. He's just put up some monstrous numbers the last 4 games. Cumberland's got 2-1-1. He's at 2 3-point games. He's got 8 points in his last 4. Really just firing on all cylinders right now. And if that keeps up, I think he's going to be a guy that's definitely going the Div 1 route. Out in Hawkesbury, you look at the likes of Johnny Sear. I know he's a 96 and he's been in the league. He put up big numbers last year, but I'm expecting even better out of him this year. He had 51 and 62 last year. I'm expecting at least a point a game from him this year on an improved Hawks team. On OJS, Greg Morels is obviously a guy. He's going to be going to Kitchener next year with the Rangers in the OHL. Already he's got 6 points in 5 games. He's a guy that makes things happen on the ice, especially in the offensive zone. Not an overly big guy, but he's a 99 that I think is going to be probably a shoo-in for Rookie of the Year. In my opinion, he's a guy that's going to be playing top 6 minutes on an OJS team at age 15, 16. That's pretty impressive. Morels is probably the guy in terms of pure rookies that is going to impress the most.
Well, Carlos Verde, I want to say thank you very much for coming on the HESN Hockey Podcast and blessing all of us with your exceptional knowledge of CCHL. Talk to us a little bit about some of the great things that HESN is doing and what you're going to be up to next little bit.
Yeah, so HESN, I mean, you guys obviously gave me a wicked opportunity last year getting involved with the CCHL down the stretch and into the playoffs. It's a great opportunity for young, aspiring sports media folks to really, get in front of the camera, get behind the mic, what have you, and just experience what it's like to call a game or to narrate a highlight pack or to provide analysis in a clear and concise manner. Really, it's a top-end organization. You and Jesse have done incredibly for yourselves. I think just staying within the Ottawa market, it's impressive what you guys have accomplished with NCAFA and the CCHL, and I really like that you guys, you're approaching grassroots sports with kind of a professional vibe, and I think that's something that definitely can be explored more, and I think that people should really get involved. If you're interested, just get, Tyler McLaren, Jesse Card. If you're interested in getting some on-camera experience, these guys will set you up pretty nicely. It's blossomed really nicely into me. I'm the play-by-play broadcaster for the Carleton Ravens men's hockey team at Carleton University this year. I was last year as well. And it's just, the experience just looks really nice on the resume, really good on a demo tape as well. I can't say enough. I can't speak highly enough of what you guys are doing over at HESN, and I wish you guys all the best going forward into 2015-16.
Well, Carlos, we want to thank you for those kind words. He was not paid to say them, everyone, but nonetheless, he will be around all season on the HESN Hockey Podcast. He is our insider in the CCHL, one of the 3 or 4 guys that we're going to be relying on to feed Jesse and I this amazing information from this amazing league. Carlos, I want to thank you very much for coming on, and we'll talk to you next week.
Take care.
Thank you for that, Carlos. Always a gentleman, always professional. Really appreciate the kind words, and obviously, we really appreciate your hard work and all the time you put into the CCHL to give it a little bit more legitimacy that with your volunteer time at the media division.
Yeah, I have no doubt that from the first time that Carlos started getting involved with us, I was like, this guy's gonna have a bright future in the sports media and broadcasting industry. So that's apparent.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a talented guy. He has the passion, which to me, that's really what it comes down to. If you don't have the passion, you don't want to do it, it doesn't come through. He really loves it. So thank you, Carlos Verde, for coming on the HESN Hockey Podcast this week. That is all for this week on the HESN Hockey Podcast. We're going to be back next week talking about those amazing goals that are going to be up on the 2 top 10s coming out next week. We'll also hopefully maybe have some updates to the commit tracker coming in from the NCAA. And anyone that has any questions or concerns, make sure you guys reach out to us on Facebook and Twitter, HESN on YouTube. Thank you guys for all the support, and we will talk to you guys next week. Peace.